So, this is how we tend to make decisions that is outside of our conscious awareness. If you imagine that Brendan represents pain, and your name? Michelle represents pleasure. These are the two forces in our lives. We move towards pleasure or we move away from pain. Here in the middle, I'm in my comfort zone. I'm not elated and I'm not upset. So how does this work? Let me give you the standard starting point for this. Let's do a financial example. So if I'm comfortable with $5,000 in the bank, because this is a belief structure, I'm comfortable with, I'm a $5,000 in the bank guy. If suddenly I'm hit by all sorts of bills and I'm down to $2,000 to $400, I'm getting close to what really scares me, which is, let me turn this on. What scares me is my credit card's not working. What scares me is people calling me and demanding money. What scares me is I might have to move house or something. So if financial bankruptcy is right there, what do most people do? What's the first thing you're going to do? Stress and panic, right? That'll be the first thing you'll do. And then you'll try to take some action. So you might look to start saving money. So you'll stop going out. Or you'll look for extra hours at work or something, and you get back, over time, back to your $5,000 in the bank. So when I'm here, the pressure is from that side to get me back to where I'm comfortable. So I get back to where I'm comfortable. But it's like a thermostat. It works both ways. I haven't been out in 3 months. So what do? I go to the RSL club, as you would, right? And I put 20 cents in the poker machine, and I win $3,000. This is not a familiar place for me. Familiarity and comfort are linked. I'm not familiar with this. I'm a $5,000 in the bank guy. Now I've got $8,000 in the bank. What do most people do when they get a windfall? And unconsciously, I'm back to where I believe I belong. This is very limiting. Now, this moves through time. You know, when you're 20, this number will be one number. When you're 40, this will be a different number. If you got family, this might need to be a very different number than when you're single. Yeah. Let's look at procrastination. Right? Some of you have heard about people who procrastinate. So, today's Sunday. I've got a hand in by Tuesday afternoon. I'm doing a course today, so I might do a bit tonight. And I get to tonight and I don't feel like it, I'm tired. I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow I start opening up emails, I start doing other things. The pressure starts to build. Monday afternoon, I still haven't done anything. Tuesday morning, I got to hand it in a few hours. I panic, I do the work, I get it done, I hand it in, and then I tell myself, I think I work better under stress. Now, here's the problem with this. This is about avoidance. This is about proactivity. If I only operate when I'm trying to avoid pain, I have to invite pain into my life before I take an action. I actually use agitation to motivate me into action. That means you've got to keep creating agitation in your life to do anything. This is an unconscious process, yeah? How many of you have a leaning towards leaving things to the last moment? I certainly did. I spent my whole university career staying up all night the night before when I had how many of you have done that? You had assessments for 3 months, and on the last night before you did an all-nighter. It's ludicrous when you think about it. And then you go, oh, it's so hard, these courses. Sorry? And we do it to ourselves because we have most of us have an avoidance frame. So this is also pessimism, looking at what could go wrong. This is optimism. So if I lean towards pessimism and avoidance, I'm always looking at what could go wrong. All the opportunities are this way, but I'm backing my way to it. This is my future, this is my past. I'm backing towards my future. I'm backing towards possibility. I'm always going, oh, I've got an offer. You know, someone said, you know, I could give you this job, I could give you this opportunity. And I'm going, but what could go wrong? Now, I think most NLP trainers would say you should never look at what's going wrong, always look at what the possibilities are. I don't agree with that. I think you need to look at what could go wrong because you need to do a sensible risk assessment. But you don't want to go over it 37 times until the job offer is no longer valid. You don't want to do that. So you want to make an assessment of what could go wrong. Ask yourself, can I wear that if it does? Or how do I set up contingencies so it doesn't happen that way, which is a more sensible approach, and recognize you can't set up contingency for everything. And then go, okay, what do I want? How do I make this happen? So think about this in different contexts. Which way do you think Richard Branson faces? Financially, anyway. You don't become a billionaire by going, oh, I just don't want to be poor. At some point, whether he was this way to start off with, he needs to turn and go, okay, I can create all sorts of things in my life. That's how he gets there. He's facing this way most of the time in his area of success. He may not be this way with relationship, I don't know. He is? Yeah. The evidence would suggest that maybe he is. But I'm saying it's not always. Wherever we're weakest, we lean this way. Yeah? Think about this from a search criteria right around relationship. Sorry, Brendan, I have to do this to you. I don't know how many times I've heard this, and I'm sure you've heard it. I don't want another guy like that. Sorry, it's not. Now, here's the problem with that. That's an avoidance frame. Instead of saying, I want that in my life, and be able to imagine that, I have to go, I don't want that. Now, here's the problem. You processing pictures. That's how the unconscious, that's how the mind works. When I say I don't want something in my life, I have to imagine it, and it has to become my reference point because there's no picture for don't. If I say don't think of a blue tree, what do you have to do? Then you have to try and back off away from it. If I said, don't think of my pet elephant called Fluffy, some of you just created a pet elephant called Fluffy. In fact, you all did. You have to in order to process what I'm saying and then try and back away from it. So when you say, I don't want that in my life, your unconscious is only left with that image. How many people have seen people, or have done it yourselves, where you said, I don't want that, and then 3 months later, what have you found? Same deal, because your pattern's the same. Consciously, there were warning signs and you ignored them because of this. Familiarity is also safety in our head, and it's not always safe. Familiar isn't always the best idea of what you should go with. So this is representing negativity, and this invites agitation in your life. You have to be stressed to take action if you are focusing this way. So then it's not just this, we tend to lean and focus one way, which actually means, you know, this is the reds, that's the brown. Everything else, all the opportunities are that way, and the best are kind of going, oh, yeah, maybe I could, but that's the problem. Now, this is a core filter that we run. You can't consciously override this. You can do it from time to time, but you can't do it consistently because it's operating 24/7. And you won't even know the criteria that you're using to make the decision. Is this making sense? Yeah. This is basically what an NLP course is designed to do, to turn you around from here to this and say, this is what I want. Decide what you want in your life and then say, this is what I want, I'm going for it. Yes, I need to assess what could go wrong. Am I willing to accept the risk factor, the cost? There's always a cost to everything.